Dag iedereen. Hallo. Hi. I'm a little bit early, so I will wait. I'm going to move my computer closer. Maybe that's better. I think that's better. Oh, that just slipped right there, didn't it? I guess I should be playing some music, maybe. Couple more minutes. I went live early. Some of this stuff out of the way. So if I decide to turn my camera so you can see, I eat ice. Okay. I guess I could be making a bracelet, couldn't I? While I'm sitting here. But I'll just do that. I know there are some people coming. So I'm just waiting. And I am untangling yarn while I'm waiting. I think I'm probably going to trim this bit out. Now I know I saw a question. There it is. Hello, James. Hi. Dag, my friend. How was your day? Oh, okay. You have a question. What is your question? It was, oh, your day was good. Good. I'm glad. Oh, why did I live there? Hmm. Do you have a thought about that? Can you think of a reason why I would? Remember, I was a teenager. I turned 13 while I was living there, and I stayed until I was 17. NATO, that's a good guess, actually. No, my father worked as a chemical draftsman. So, all these big chemical plants, like down by Houston, where they have pipes where they're siphoning or cleaning um, they're cleaning the chemicals and they mix them all together to make things like gasoline and that kind of thing. My dad was a chemical draftsman, so he drew the blueprints for these big chemical plants. And because the Netherlands is on water, they have the rigs out in the Gulf of Mexico, which is now the Gulf of America. Anyway, I think Donald Trump changed that. Anyway, they have all these big oil rigs out there. Well, they started building those rigs in the Netherlands out in the North Sea. And so my dad was hired. My dad was hired to um, go and teach this Dutchman, or to hire a Dutchman to take over my dad's position in the Netherlands. And so he went to train some men. And so we lived there, and it was only supposed to be 2 years. But my dad liked the guys that he was working with, and it was hard to decide who was going to be the boss. So we stayed another 18 months. So we were there 3.5 years. So, yeah, that's why. My dad went to teach a Dutchman how to do his job. And when they first came Holland and told us, I was in the 7th grade, and I was making really good grades, and I wanted to be a cheerleader. Now, in Texas, that's a big deal. And you have to make really good grades. Then you have to try out for the cheerleading team. Well, did I like it there? Let me ask you a question. You're 14, right? I think you told me you're 14. If your mom and dad came to you today and said, "Hey, Jed, good to see ya." Oh, you're 13. So, if your mom and dad came home to you today and said, "Hey, dude, we are leaving in the summer, in June, we're leaving, and we are moving to how about Brazil? We're moving to Brazil for 3 years." How do you think you would take it? Yeah, because you're leaving all your friends. Yeah. Jed, you're so funny. So, I I was not a happy camper leaving, but what can I say? You go where your family goes, and I'm the oldest. I have a brother who lives in Ohio and a sister who lives in North Carolina. And then I have a brother who is in heaven. So, yeah, there were four of us, and I'm the oldest. So, between me and my brother, there are only 22 months. And then the others are like, um, I think my little brother, Chris, my youngest brother, he was fine with it. I think my other brother, Tim, I think he probably was okay with it because all the World War II battles were over in that part of the world. And so he liked battles and things like that, I think. I'm hoping he's going to come and join us. Um, I don't know if he will or not. But anyway, and then my little sister, um, she was our photographer. She's the one who took all of the pictures. I think she enjoyed it the most of all of us. I really do. I think she really absorbed a lot. She is 3 years younger than me. Oh, that's fine. You can replay this. Um, so, how is the book? Tell me how you're enjoying the book. It's great. Good. Yes, I love this book. And so, what chapter are you on and what's going on in the chapter? Is your class all in the same place, or are some of you farther ahead or behind? Oh, it's about to get juicy, huh? Chapter 5 today. Let me go. I pulled the PDF up so I could see chapter 5. Oh, okay. All right. I'm kind of looking over. Father had snapped off the set, and his blue eyes was a fire they had never seen before. It is wrong to give people hope when there is no hope. Hmm. The Germans will attack and we will fall. So yeah, they're getting to where they know that war is coming. But they didn't really think much was going to happen to them. The Dutch people were like the people in Switzerland who have always remained neutral. So, I hear the voices in my head. So when I'm reading, I hear those voices. And for me, it's more entertaining. I like to read aloud. I actually understand better and get more information when I read it out loud. So I'm one of those people. I have to see it and hear it. Yeah, it's kind of a habit. Um, but when I read my Bible, I read it out loud because I need to hear that. I need to hear it so it goes in and I understand it better. So yeah, I'm crocheting right now. So this is my other thing. Nope, nobody else has voted. However, guys, I have to tell you, I did put up some teaser videos on each book, not just one, but all three. So I read maybe the first couple of pages on each book till it started getting good, and then I stopped. What was the food like? Oh, well, now you have to think about it. Now you're living, I was living in a, Holland actually what is what Germany used to be. So the Dutch people are very inventive and they actually pulled the water out of the sea and made their own land. So you can be driving down a road right next to the North Sea. You'll drive down the road, and on this side, it's level with water. There's nothing but water there. And then on the other side, all the houses are way down below the water because they have pulled the water out and built a wall. And I don't know if you know the story of the little Dutch boy that put his finger in the dike to keep it from leaking. You have to go look. I'll put that one up there on my channel too. Um, anyway, does flood often? No, not really. Um, I would say now, I don't know in South Carolina how much snow you get in the winter. But here in Texas, we might get one snow. And that's not every year, it's every other year. In Tennessee, it snows every year, but maybe only once or twice. Is that story real about the boy? I think it's just a story. I really think it's just a story. I have to go look it up. I don't even remember the name of it anymore. Anyway, it's an old story, like over 100 years old. So it's an old story. It's very rare to get snow here. Okay, so in the Netherlands, where I lived in the capital. I lived in The Hague, where the government was. Rotterdam is on the North Sea, and it is the business area. It would be like Dallas, Texas, where all the businesses are. That's Rotterdam. Then if you go to Amsterdam, that's where all the museums are and Anne Frank's house. Amsterdam is like the social city. It's where people go and play. Hey, Micah. Um, So I forgot what I was answering. Oh, snow. So it snows, but it's not like really deep snow. It snows maybe 2 or 3 inches, and then it becomes slush. And then it'll snow again, and it'll become slush. Now, when we lived there, our house, I meant to look at my house again, James. I don't think that the road in front of my house is brick anymore, but it used to be bricks. It used to be made of bricks. They call it cobblestone. So every like 6 months, they would come in front of my house all down the street, and they would pull up all the bricks, and they would make the sand underneath the bricks very level, and then they would put the bricks back down. School. Um, School, I went to an international school, and I had actually, it is now located in Harlem, where the Bay is. So it was not in Harlem. So The Hague and Harlem are very close to one another. They're like suburbs of each other. And so they moved the school to Harlem. It used to be in a very old building. Um, it was 3 stories high, and no, it was, yeah, 3 stories high with a basement. So our gym and everything was in the basement. And then we had 2 stories that were classrooms. And then the top story was um, the library. Everybody hung out in the library. I know. I always think of the Harlem Globetrotters. My name is Tara C. Morris. Tara C. Morris. It's like Tennessee with an R. My name is Irish for Teresa. Before I got married, my last name was Houlihan. So, yes, Tara C. Morris. And my name has always been butchered. My first name, they called me all everything. I've been called Terassi and Therese and all kinds of weird things. Uh huh. Hula hoop. Exactly. Um, my brother's nickname for a while was Hoop. So yeah. Um, but when I was in the 6th grade, I was the fastest girl in my class, and only Jesse Hernandez could beat me. He was this little tiny guy, and he could run like the wind. Anyway, my name is Irish for Teresa. So that'll just tell you. I'm very Irish, and I love St. Patrick's Day. Oh, yeah, I was very athletic. Um, I'm going to be again. On our honeymoon, my husband and I hiked up a mountain. And I was pretty big even during my honeymoon. So, um, but I'm losing weight. So I'm getting better, and I'm healthier. Yep. I used to play outside. Well, we used to, when we were kids, we played outside in the street. And we had lots of kids in our neighborhood. And so we'd have like football games and kickball games and all that kind of stuff. But in the Netherlands is where I learned how to ice skate. And they actually let you ice skate on. Oh, thank you, James. Thank you. We actually ice skated on the canals. Now, the canals are the little I'm going to say rivulets. They're little rivers that go through the middle of town that give the town its water. They used to. I don't know if it does anymore. Anyway, so if you ice skate on the canal, all the like little sticks and leaves and things from the trees that fell in the water before it froze, when they get frozen in there, they'll make you fall when you're ice skating. So, some enterprising man in my neighborhood had the tennis courts, and they would spray the tennis courts and build up about this much ice on the tennis courts. And you could pay a quarter to get in and be there all day long. That's where I spent a lot of my time, was ice skating at the tennis courts. And then, of course, now this is something I want to tell you this. I'll explain that in a minute, James, but let me tell you about the bicycles in the hiding place, okay? Let me just explain, because the first thing Corey does is she jumps on her bicycle and rides over to Nolly's house, okay? So that's the first thing that she does. The biggest mode of transportation in the Netherlands is bicycles. Even businessmen ride their bicycles to work. They have it sounds so weird, but they wear sandals with socks, and they tape up or they pin up their pants leg so it doesn't get caught in the chain, and they ride their bicycles for miles to work. So when Corey says she got on her bicycle, every time you see a bicycle or a motorcycle, as you can't drive a car in the Netherlands unless you're 18. So, but when you're 16, you can get what do I want to say? Like a Vespa. They call them bromfiets. So they're motor feet is what they are. Bromfiets. And they're little motorcycles. They're like Vespas. Anyway, and that's what, like in high school, that's what everybody wants is a bromfiets, a motorcycle. A moped. There you go. So, yes, in France they ride bicycles and mopeds. You're right. So, when she talks about getting on the bicycle, it's not just her mode of transportation. It got so bad in Europe during World War II that they didn't even have tires for their bicycles, and yet they still rode them just on the metal rim. So that's how bad it got. Yes, a quarter. Yes, and they're very healthy people. The Dutch people are very healthy. Somebody was asking about the food. It was mostly like meat and potatoes, like sausage and sauerkraut. That's German. Well, it's kind of Dutch too. So, but they are, Indonesia was one of their colonies. And so their Mexican food, their spicy food is Indonesian food. Oh my word. So good. So good. What description about the bicycle? Yes, Philippine and Indonesian food. What did I describe in the video? I love this book. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah. Yeah, this is for you guys. You feel famous? You should. I've really punched your school. I really have. I've really advertised your school. I hope you guys get a whole lot more students. I hope it just blossoms and becomes very prosperous. Um, Now, James, you were asking me about how I met my husband. My husband did radio news. He lived in Uvalde for 27 years, and 20 of those years I lived there. Um, oh, good. Hello, everyone that's there. You can just say hey or send me a wave. Let me know you're there. But my husband was in radio news, and I was single, and I was a teacher. I taught fifth and sixth grade, and I decided that because of my history when I was very young, I've always been a singer. I've always been an actor. I mean, that's just me. Anyway, so I went and I tried out for a play at our city community theater. And I got a part. I got one of the main parts, actually, which I was really. Anyway, so he came from the radio station to interview the cast of the play. And that's how we met. Well, turns out he also loves to act. You would never know it to just look at him, but he's so good. Anyway, um, so Verblau, is it Grace? Grace, send me a heart if it's you. Anyway, so that's how we met. And then about a year went by, and I sent him a note. Yes, Verblau is a Dutch name. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Anyway, so I sent him a note and said, if you ever want to go have coffee, give me a call. Well, he called. I was sick as a dog, and I didn't answer the phone. So when I got well, I called him back, and he came over on December the 2nd, and he and I decorated my Christmas tree and watched Jag on TV and talked for hours. And that's how we met. That was our first date. Aw, I saw a heart. Anyway, that's how we met. And we were in many, many plays together. If you, I don't know if it's on this, I have another YouTube channel. It's very small, only has 20 subscribers. But I think it's on the other one. And I think I'll put it on this one. The very last play that my husband and I did together was The Gift of the Magi. And it was right before Christmas break. I did not have to work that day because I was on stage all morning. Oh, good. Um, Okay. You know where I was? I was in my, it was 1963. He was assassinated the day before my ninth birthday. So I was in the third grade and I was at school. And it was right at lunchtime. And they gathered all of us kids back in the building and they sent us home early. And I was like, why are they sending us home early? I knew something bad had happened, but I had no idea. So I'm walking home from school. My school was only a block from my house. And so I was walking home from school and I get in the house and my mother's crying and my dad is all upset. And then I started watching Walter Cronkite on the news tell about how he had been assassinated. It was a very sad and scary time in our history as a nation. It's very, very scary because he was killed. And so it kind of left the government kind of like, what do we do now? What do we do now? And of course, Lyndon Johnson took over and all of that. And I have a lot of theories, but vote for what? Micah, we're voting. Oh, 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 911. Those are hard days. Um, my husband had gone to the radio station. He would get up at 4 in the morning because he had to be on the radio at 6. So, but before he got to work, he would drive to the police station and the firehouse and all the county offices to pick up information for his newscasts about what had happened overnight. Plus, we had a police scanner at home. So he had already gone into work. At that time, we had 3 foster children in our house, and he would come home and take them to school. Um, that day, he walked in and he said, I want you with me at the radio station today. We didn't have TV at our house. We just didn't. Um, and I said, why? And he said, 2 planes just went into the World Trade Center. And I went, what? And he said, I want you home. I want you with me today. And so I went to the radio station and stayed most of the day. He would get off at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the kids got out of school. And so we went and picked up the kids. And yeah, that was a really scary day. Yeah. And when the Challenger blew up, all of those things are. And see, my dad had worked for the company. I don't know if have you seen The Right Stuff? Is it that one? No, Apollo 13, where Tom Hanks is there and um, the rocket blows up in space and they're trying to fix it with, whatever they have. The heat shield was made by the Grumman company named Grumman. And my dad worked for Grumman. And he was one of the people who developed the heat shield for the spacecraft. Wow. Yes. Yeah. It's a great movie. But my dad was telling me about them bouncing if they didn't get the right. Yeah. Oh, James, you'll have to watch that one. And The Right Stuff, that's another really good one. It's got Ed Harris in it. Um, and who's that other guy? Anyway, good good cast. Anyway, so um have you gotten to where they've been arrested yet in the book? Okay. When you get to that place, I'm going to explain how far it was. Matter of fact, I'm going to go on Google Maps and look it up to tell you exactly how far it is. I lived on Valsdorperweg in The Hague, which is the capital city. Valsdorperweg means Whale Town Way. Um, and let me see if I can talk and spell at the same time. Scheveningen. Okay. I lived only a mile from the beach. The beach was called Scheveningen, and you'll hear it as I read it. It's a weird looking word. When you look at it, you're going to go, huh? Okay, so Haarlem, where Corey is and the Bay is only 45 minutes from Scheveningen. I wish I could show you my map. But it's right. Everything is all there together. On the way to the beach, you drive down the road, and on your left hand side, there is a huge 20-foot wall with barbed wire on top of it. And it's a prison. When they are arrested, the first prison that they are taken to is this one that I'm talking about in Scheveningen. And so I've been past that building many, many times. Yes, I'll try. SCH Scheveningen. Scheveningen. I think that's how you spell it. Scheveningen. So you've got Haarlem to Scheveningen. And on the pier on in Scheveningen, it's a big like Jersey Shore. That's what I imagine, where they had the big and Coney Island and all of that. Oh, you're asking me what kind of music I like. Well, if you're subscribed to my other channel, you'll know what kind of music I write. I write worship music. So I write religious songs. But if I'm listening to the radio, I'm a country gal. I like Oh, well, I don't like a lot of the brand new country stuff. Like, what's her name that everybody loves so much? What's my favorite Christian song? I don't know. Carrie Underwood. No, who's the real famous one? She always talks about her boyfriends. I like Lainey Wilson. Isn't she the one from Idol, American Idol? Lainey Wilson. Oh, you know who I like? It's Jake Hoot. Y'all know Jake Hoot? He was on The Voice, and Kelly Clarkson was his coach, and he won the thing. Luke Combs. Oh, you have to look up Jake Hoot, Hoot, just like an owl. Jake Hoot. He's got a great. Oh man, I knew from the time that she got him that he was going to win. Morgan Wallen. I don't know her or him. Um, I have my favorites. My favorite, really and truly, is Randy Travis. I love his voice, and Dolly Parton. I just love their voices. Jolene, 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 Jolene. I love that. I also like um gosh, if you hadn't asked me, I'd know. Conway Twitty. Yeah. Um I like Shania Twain. So we're getting into the more modern stuff. Who is that girl? Is it Taylor Swift? That everybody loves? I'm not a big fan. Um, I like Tim McGraw, and of course, uh, Boot Scoot and Boogie. I like that. Um, yeah, my some of my favorite singers, my Christian singers, Taylor Swift. Um, I'm not a big fan of hers. Um, God love her. She's got a beautiful voice. Jewel. I love Jewel. Jewel's music is gorgeous. Um, but my one of my favorite, well, I'll tell you my favorite Christian bands. Second Chapter of Acts, which you guys probably never heard of. But they did hear the bells ringing, they're singing that we can be born again. Um, Second Chapter of Acts. Um, Nancy Honeytree. Honeytree was me in my 20s. Nancy Honeytree. I wanted to be like her. Alan Jackson. Yep. Um, who else? Honeytree. Keith Green. I know you know who Keith Green. You probably don't know. Oh, I like Brandon Lake. I do very much. Um, I like his Holy Ghost song. He's got some beautiful music. Yes, I like the old songs. Now, good Micah. I love Keith Green. Chris Tomlin's good. I actually met Chris Tomlin many, many, many years ago in a I went to a worship music singer songwriter convention thing, and he was there. And who's the guy? Red something, Redland or Red something. Anyway, um, I was going to tell you something. There are some other ones that you guys probably don't know. Misha Getz, Joshua Aaron, and Aaron Schust. Oops, Shust. I really love Aaron Shust. And Misha Getz, I have a picture of me and Misha. So, I don't know Matt Powell. Matthew West. Do you know Matthew Ward? He does some amazing Christian music. He is the brother. Okay, so second chapter of Acts was 3 siblings, 2 sisters and a brother. Matthew Ward. He's pretty amazing. And if you want like a really good worship leader, now that I'm thinking of it, I can't think of his name. One of his albums is Night of Extravagant Praise or Worship. One of it. One Night of Extravagant Worship. Shane and Shane. I don't know them. Do I watch sports? Not now. But what sport you want? I was there when the Oilers were the Oilers in Houston. And now they moved to Tennessee and now they're the Titans. I will watch a lot of sports. I mean, I'll even watch golf, guys. Paul Wilbur. Yes, thank you. That's him. And his daughter, I don't remember her name, his daughter and Misha Getz have done some duets together. So they're really good. Golf. I can see that, James. I can see that you love golf. I can see that. But actually, I really have to tell you that my favorite sport is actually baseball. I am a huge, huge baseball fan. I don't know all the people and all the specs and all that anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. But I love baseball. I like Little League baseball. I like to go watch the little bitty guys play baseball. I just love baseball. I'm a baseball fan. And I'm sorry, you got to give me the Astros. I know they're a horrible team. And I went to Houston Baptist University to get my teaching degree, and the Houston Rockets used our gym as their practice gym. So there you have it. Yes, I really enjoy watching golf. My dad, who has been gone for 3 years now, um, he loved golf. That was his thing. You're a brave. I would love to go see any kind of. When I was younger, my dad's birthday, if he was still alive, he would have been 96 yesterday. So it's during baseball season. And so most years I bought nosebleed tickets for us to go to the Astros game. And we would go, and at 7th inning, if no one's sitting in the lower seats, you can move to the lower seats in the Astrodome. So I think it's called Reliance Center now, but it used to be called the Astrodome. And Dodgers. I didn't know that about Tennessee. My husband and I lived in Tennessee for about 3 years, 3 or 4 years. Yeah. So I like Tennessee. If I didn't live in Texas, I would live in Tennessee just because. But I've also lived in Oklahoma and New Mexico. I haven't lived in Louisiana. Oh, baseball. Oh, college baseball. My husband is a graduate of UT, so we are hook 'em horns. Um, but most of our neighbors are Aggies. My cousin is an Aggie. Um, so yeah. So you guys have learned a lot about me today. The one question you haven't asked is why? Why do I do what I do? You want to know? Okay. I'm probably going to cry and then we're going to go. Okay. Why do I do what I do? Number one, I love teaching. It is what God put me on this earth to do. I love being around kids. You make me feel alive. The books that I read, because I love to read, just I always have. But the books that I read are award winning literature. In other words, they're like the old black and white movies. They're the classics, and they're the ones that will be around when you are old, like me, and you'll go, oh man, I remember reading that book way back when. Miz T, she read that on her YouTube channel. Um, so yes, I do this because this is what God called me to do. Um, I've been on YouTube reading these books for 14 years. I've been here a long time. And I just trudge through. I hope you do, James. I really do. Um, but I just love it. And I want young people to understand the mindset of people that are old like me, that we grew up in a completely different time and life was easy. I mean, do we have money problems? Sure, everybody does. It doesn't matter how old you are or what time you live in. But I could stay out after dark and play kickball in the street. And my parents would be over at other parents' houses playing cards with each other. I mean, they were inside, we kids were outside. If anything catastrophic happened, we knew that all we had to do was go across the street to the neighbor because we all knew our neighbors. And nowadays, most people don't know their next door neighbor enough to be able to say, I got to go to the hospital. Will you feed my dog and my cat while I'm gone? That kind of relationship, or that even has a key to get into your house so that they can help. And that's how I grew up. And the world, yes, I will ask you. The world is frightened of its shadow. Most people in the world are afraid. They live afraid. So, all right. Yeah, that's good, Micah. Did you do it? Now, do you guys live close to one another? Or are you on different sides of town? Or how close do you guys live? Because you're like, I call you my three musketeers. when I talk to my husband about you, I call them the Three Musketeers or the Three Amigos. 2 miles, yeah. So you could ride your bicycle. And have y'all known each other since you were little bitty? Or did you just get to know one another when you started school together? I love James and I love you guys. You know why? Because you say yes, ma'am. And that's a very southern thing to do. Since first grade. Oh my word. Did y'all get in trouble when you were little? Okay. Ruby. Okay. And so where is Ruby nowadays? She go to school with y'all or no? She was a bad girl. Okay. We don't want to talk bad about anybody on here. Bye, James. I'll talk to you soon. What's your teacher's name? Oh, say hi to the grands for me. I'd like to meet your mama someday. You have two teachers. So who's your teacher that lets you uh, watch my videos? Mr. Timmons and Miss Grooms. Okay. Lots of O's and M's in their names. I'm sorry. That just hit me. So is Mr. Timmons, is he like math and science and all that? And then Miss Grooms is English and language arts. Did we lose Jed? Uh-oh. Well, I'm still going. Okay. Okay. Did we lose Jed?
Hello, baby.
Hello, honey.
How you doing?
Good. Micah and I are talking.
Okay. Oh, you had a conversation.
Well, James had to go. His grandparents came over.
Here's your. I got some ice cream too.
Hot dog. He got me some ice cream.
In
Yeah.
the generic form.
Oh, and some cough medicine. Cough medicine. All right, my friend. Meine Freunde. Tot ziens. Good night. Goeienachten. Oh, Micah says hello.
Oh,
He says, hello, Micah. We'll do this again when y'all get farther in the book, okay? So say when you get to chapter like 9 or 10, we'll do this again, okay? See you later. Have a good sleep. Talk to you on the flip side. Bye.